Hey blues fans, John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues lesson number 147. In this lesson, we're going to start working on a cool country blues picking tune in the style of Etta Baker's Carolina Breakdown. I think you're really going to dig it. Let's give it a listen, and then we'll come back and I'll start showing you how to put this thing into your playing. Here we go. All right, let's start getting this thing down, going bar by bar. And the first thing we're going to need to do is get into this E chord here. So basic cowboy chord E, right here, mostly around the 2nd fret. And then we're going to do the finger picking. The finger picking is really an alternating bass between strings 6 and 4. Just going back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the cool thing is what we add on top of that. And here it is slowed down. All right, let's have another listen to that, and then I'll talk to you about the actual notes that we're playing. So what we're doing is we're leading off, and on the very first beat, I'm pinching the 6th string and the 3rd string open and then hammering on to the 1st fret. So that's kind of giving us a nice little E minor sound to start with, but we're getting very quickly into the E major. It's done a lot in blues, and we're going to use that technique right here, this minor 3rd to major 3rd move. Then we're rolling through the bass, so we've got 1, 1, and 2. So it's very important that that hammer falls on the 1st fret on the and of 1. 1 and 2. For the and of 2, pluck the open 1st string. So that's the first half of this first measure. Then we're going to go back and for beat 3 hit the bass string, the 6th string. And of 3, put your pinky down, your little finger down on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string. That's a C sharp. And what we're going to do is pluck that and then pull off. And you should hear the open 2nd string ringing when you're ready for beat 4, which is the bass on the 4th string. On the and of 4, you're going to pluck this 1st fret on the 3rd string, that G sharp note. So that's the first measure. And of course we're going to move right into the 2nd measure and actually pluck the outer 2 strings. It kind of lets that melody sort of resolve itself. And then for the 2nd measure, we're just going to do the bass. Just let the melody kind of hang. Let this ring. And it's important to say that on the bass part, the alternating bass, you definitely want to use a palm mute. I'm kind of letting the strings ring a little bit here just so you can really hear what I'm plucking, but having that sort of palm muted and really sort of thumpy sound in the bass register on the guitar sounds really good over a part like this. Let's hear it in action. And again. So then what we're going to do is basically repeat that first part, that main melody. But for the 4th bar, we'll kind of add just a little tag on the end. Just another one of these little hammer-on to the open string moves. So here's bar 3 and 4 played together. So really we're just doing a hammer on and then pinching just to kind of end that 4th measure. And the cool thing is we're just going to repeat that whole block of 4 bars. We're going to play it again. And this is what you get. And I'll play it through kind of slowly. This will be bars 1 through 8. To the A7 chord, and we're going to do that by pinching the open 5th string with our thumb and then pinch the 2nd string 1st fret. So really kind of think about fretting the A7 this way, and so you've got your index finger kind of ready to take care of whatever needs to happen on the 1st fret, and in this case that's the 2nd string, and you'll hammer into the A7 like that. It's a really cool way to do that minor 3rd to major 3rd move. The C note is the minor 3rd of A. You hear it here in an A minor, but if we put up to the C sharp, that's the major 3rd. It sounds very majory. And here we've got the open 3rd string giving it the A7 sound. So that's kind of the chord and the chord tones, set of chord tones that we're working with. But let's hear how we're rolling into this. Again, we're going to start off with the pinch on the 5th string and the 2nd string with that hammer on. And it's going to be very similar to what we did in the E as far as the rhythm of the picking. We've got 1 and 2. 1 and 2. That's what we're going for. So after we hit this bass, we're going to roll into this F sharp note here on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And then alternate through the bass and hit the open 1st string like this. And then on the and of 4, hit the 2nd string under the chord, so that's right there, the 2nd fret. And then we're going to pinch the 5th string and then the 1st string, but on the 1st string put your little finger down on the 3rd fret. It gives it that G note, that real A7 vibe, and then just go walk through the bass there. So here's what we have with these 2 bars in A7, and we'll repeat that. Then we're ready to hop back into our E chord, right where we've already been. Now for the B7, we're going to get there by doing this quick little walk up, where we just climb chromatically on the 5th string up to our B to get us into this chord. But let's make sure that we can get there. I'm going to play through the A7 back to the E and then walk into this B7, and then we'll take care of the picking that's got to happen over the B7 chord. So here we go, starting with the A7. Here we go to E. Here's the walk up. And when we get to that B note on the 2nd fret here, 5th string, that is where we are at the top of the bar containing the B7. So we're just kind of hinting at it and walking to it, and then finally we're there. And that's the picking that we need to do. We're going to hit the bass by itself on the 5th string, then we're going to pinch strings 4 and 1. Then, this is a pretty cool part, you're going to move the bass down with your middle finger instead of the 2nd fret of the 5th string, the B, we're going to move to this F sharp here on the 6th string, 2nd fret. And then we're just going to hit the open 2nd string and then back to our bass. Then we're going to take that shape this B7 shape, we're going to do something slightly unorthodox by just shifting it up 2 frets. And that's going to leave this string here, this second string, still sounding a B, even though we've got a real C sharp 7 thing going on here. But we're going to use that. It sounds kind of cool and produces a nice little interplay between the B7 and this C sharp 7. So let's hear how we're going to do the picking by giving ourselves the context of the B7. So we're going to walk into the B7 and play that part, and then slide up and play this C sharp 7. Here we go. Alright, so what we do when we slide up is we're going to start with the 5th string bass. So we're going to go 5, 4, 6, 4 on the bass. And we're going to start by pinching on beat 1. So we're going to pinch with the 1st string and the 5th string, hit that open 2nd string, and then down on the bass on the 4th string. Then we're going to move the bass down to the 4th fret of the 6th string, G sharp, and do this picking. And these two really work nicely together. We've got this on the B7. So there's a lot of playing the melody on the in-between beats on the and of the main beat. Once you get here to the C sharp 7. Then from here we go right back down into some familiar territory. We're going to go into this A7, but the melody is slightly different. We're going to roll into it kind of fast with a quick hammer on, not a long one that falls on the and of 1, but we're actually going to do just kind of this real quick hammer on. Then we're going to pinch on the 4th string in the open verse and do this little melody here. From here we're going to do a lick, but it's really important to make sure that we can get these parts to flow together, especially when you're moving from here to here to this A7. Once you've got that, you're ready for that little lick, but let's make sure we hear that as one solid piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is definitely a cool moment in this little piece. We're going to slide up to the 7th fret on the 2nd string. And you can kind of break away from your bass here. This is really the lick, so we're going to focus more on the melody notes here. And it's this cool little slide in up to the 7th fret, followed by a pull off to the 5th fret. So we're sliding up to that F sharp and pulling off to the E on the 2nd string. And then hitting this note here, the C sharp on the 3rd string, 6th fret. And then once you hit that C sharp, be sure to pick your hand up and hit the open 2nd string, open 1st string, and then the 2nd string. And that's a great time, once you've got these open strings ringing, to shift positions and move back down into this home bass. We're going to finish off the lick, but let's make sure we've got this. We're going to slide in, then we're going to hit the open, after we hit this C sharp, open 2nd string, open 1st, open 2nd, then we're going to do a pull off from the 2nd fret of the 3rd string to the 1st. Then we're going to resolve, in a sense, back to this E. So we're going to pluck the 2 E's on the 6th string and the 4th string. That's actually the top of the next bar. So let's make sure we can get there. All right, once more slowly. For the rest rest of this little progression, what we're going to do, we've already talked about B1 of this bar. We're going to do that pinch. Then we're going to pinch the 4th string and the 1st string. This is just rigidly on the beat. So 1, 2. Then we're going to move into our A7 and do this. Then our B7, and do this picking. We already did this pattern up here, but here we're going to apply it to the B7. And then finally resolve. So here's what that ending sounds like. Now let's hear this entire piece played through slowly. Now up to speed. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. This is one of my favorite sounds of the blues. This is what really drew me into acoustic blues, that bright sounding melody on top of that alternating bass. Really, you sound like you got two different guitars going at once here. And it takes quite a lot of practice to get that guitar sound down, to really get the guitar techniques happening. You've got the alternating bass happening, which takes a lot of practice to get that thumb to do what you want it to do. And then of course you've got other fingers on your picking hand that you're using to pluck out the melody notes, which don't always fall right in line with that bass line. In fact, when they don't, that's when some of the magic of the melody really starts to shine through. So my best tip for you is to take this slowly and practice, practice, practice. Now, if you want to make sure that you've got a solid foundation of the blues built underneath your picking, then definitely check out Blues Guitar Institute's course called Acoustic Blues Jumpstart. This is one of those foundational courses. It is a premium course, but I'm offering the first 3 lessons completely free to you, just to make sure that you've got some solid technique under your belt. That's going to help you no matter what style of blues you want to play, whether it's country blues, whether it's electric, Chicago style blues, or Texas. It doesn't matter. You've got to have this foundational skill that we cover in the Acoustic Blues Jumpstart. So I invite you to check that out, bluesguitarinstitute.com/start now.